So this is the secret weapon of all leaders, and this clarity helps you get focus. Once you're clear on your career, and by the way, this doesn't mean that everything has to be set in stone. If you're 20-something years old, you'll have no idea realistically what you actually want out of life. You're just guessing what you want out of life. Take your best guess, have a vision around that, do that for a few years, and then maybe you'll have another guess or another perspective in 3-4 years. If you're in your 30s, you might have a better idea, you might have a worse idea. You might have thought you have everything figured out in your 20s, and you'll end up in your 30s, and now you have a midlife crisis. You have no idea what to do with life anymore. Now you set another vision, you get more clarity. So these aren't to be set in stone, these are to have a deadline, right? This is my vision for the next 3 years, this is what I want to do, okay? So now the action step is very clear. Write down your personal vision statement, right? And personal, I mean it. Personal is your career, your business if you have one, or your team if you have a team, or your projects if you're, like, let's say you're a rocket scientist, and your vision is that my rocket is going to be in space doing this, that, or the other, whatever, right? And all of that is included within who you are. So your career is one part of who you are. Your health is another part, your family or your relationships, your faith if you're, Christian or Muslim or whatever. Your faith if it's important to you. Everything that's important to you goes into your vision statement, and make it a 3-year vision statement. When I say 3 years, don't say everything you're going to do from now to the next 3 years. Go literally to year 3 and write down one day, express one day in the present tense. Hey, it's the 5th of December 2030, and I am, leading this team of these many engineers, and these are the projects we're working on, and this is my salary, blah, 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 right? Write down everything in the present tense and look at that vision. Again, we go very deep into this in the book. We even give examples of vision statements and mission statements and everything, and so you can get all of that there. But we're explaining the principles here, and then you can get the book if you want more details and more examples. Now, a few guidelines here in terms of the vision statement. So number one, your vision statement, or within your vision statement, you should have targets for yourself, right? So as targets, you can say, for example, like in Coca-Cola, we're the #1 most known brand in the world or whatever. Other targets can be, again, financial. You can have targets in terms of the level of impact you leave or on how many people. You can have targets in terms of countries or languages. So for example, the book, in the vision statement for the book, we want the book to be translated in 50 languages and to sell more than 10,000 copies, right? And so, 10 million copies. So whatever those targets are, add targets, make it palpable. Make it so in 3 years, did I hit this or not? And what did I hit? Did I hit 10 million copies or did I hit 2 million copies? Are we in 50 languages or are we in 30 languages? Wherever you are, that's reality. And then based on that reality, you can say, well, actually, the only book that's translated in more than 30 languages in the Bible is the Bible. And then other than that, the best business book of all time is translated into 25 languages. So I'm already the #1 most translated book. And so 50 languages is useless, futile. I don't want to be there. Or you can say, you know what? Those 15 languages that no one ever tackled, those people don't have a great business book in their hands. So I'm going to go the extra mile and translate for those countries and those languages as well. Whatever the case may be, you will do a reassessment at the end of your vision, and you can even do a reassessment every year. I do that every year. Even though my visions are 3 to 5 years, on my birthday, every year, I reassess all of my visions and then see, do I still want this? And if yes, do I still want it the exact same way, or do I tweak it somehow? So that's basically it in terms of your vision. And within the vision, please remember that you shouldn't try to be everything for everybody, right? So basically have the vision explained very, very clearly, and then you explain what your contribution is if you want to. I am doing this, right? Other people are doing this, that, and the other. Me, I'm only doing this. This is what I love to do. This is the only thing I do. And all of these other things are handled by these other people, right, in your life. So for example, something I don't like to do I don't like cleaning or organizing or things like that around the house. So we have other people doing that. I delegated that, right? Some people might say, well, that's not a family value, right? Because, you know, as a father or a husband or whatever, you should clean around the house. And I say, no, you should not. I can take responsibility, 100% responsibility for the cleanliness of the house, and delegate the activity to someone else, right? So that's what I decide to do. And so explain everything very, very clearly, and you know, you get the gift from there. I personally know how to cook a lot of dishes. However, I decide not to cook because I don't like the process of cooking. And just like that in business, I don't like the process of hopping on sales meetings. I tend to be very good in sales meetings, but I don't like sales. It's just something I don't like. I prefer to do consulting to sales, and even consulting I do very little because most of my time is spent on planning. That's my favorite thing. I love strategizing, I love planning, I love figuring out what the future holds and bring that strategy into the present moment so that we can rally ambitious and talented people to get that vision together. This is what you would call a blueprint of the future, right? So you would literally see the future, you can envision it. Every time you read it, it's a vivid imagination of how it's going to be, and you can almost feel it. Like you can feel how it's going to be like when you hit that vision, right? So this is very important to have within your repertoire of tools. That's one of the tools that you use to make decisions on what should I do today, or what should I do this quarter, next quarter. Your vision will tell you what you need to do, because the vision tells you the end result. So for example, if we want to have 1,000 clients simultaneously, we need to first get 1,000 clients, because right now we have 100. So we need better outreach systems so that we have more leads, so that we convert more people, right? So having the vision will tell you what you need to do. And on the personal side as well, if you say I have whatever 200 pounds, right, 90 kilograms, and I have this much in muscle mass, this much in fat, whatever, there are, you know, devices that help you measure that, and then you know, or you can get an idea of some of the things you can do to get there, right? Eat less pizza, you know, eat more broccoli, whatever that is for you. So you now have that blueprint of the future. That blueprint should encompass things like your values. Your values is like, do you value family? Do you value work? Do you value health? What do you value? Those values should be encompassed within your vision, right? And then that also helps you figure out the gap that you have from today, from point A to point B, wherever that is. Or your vision might be point Z and you're in point A, and you have the entire alphabet to go to reach your vision. And so every letter is a milestone. But now, because you can see that gap, you can say, okay, what are the 20 things I can do to fill that gap from point A to point Z, right? So this helps you fine tune both your strategy and your moral compass, because you say, hey, do I want to create a business that's 100% focused on profits, or do I want to create a business where everyone has fun, or where everyone, you know, can donate part of their time to charity, to something that they like, whether that's, you know, helping poor people, or whether that's, you know, building houses, or whatever that is, right? Or animals, you know, saving animals, or things of that nature. Another thing that your vision can have is, for example, a problem or a challenge that you feel that exists right now in the world that you can solve, right? This is like the main problem that you solve by existing, right? Whether that's in your career or in your personal life. And that helps me a lot, because there are many parts of the world that I feel aren't as, let's say, well organized as they could be, or they're not as ethical as they could be, or things of that nature. Let me give you 2 examples. In my career, one of my businesses is within the area of marketing. Within marketing, there are so many marketing agencies, like crazy. I don't know, probably millions of marketing agencies. And sadly, the vast majority of them just take your money and give nothing in return, right? You can feel at the end of the relationship that you just lost all of the money and they didn't even try. And even if they tried, they didn't succeed. And even if they succeeded, they're very small results, etc., etc. Like you didn't get value for it. So within my marketing agency, we have a motto, a slogan that we say, and that slogan is, we measure dollars, not likes. We do not care how many people like a post. We care about, has that post gotten our client the revenue that they wanted to make? Has it generated the leads that it needed to generate and the right quality of leads, right? So that's our slogan. That's the big problem that we solve within our industry, which is whenever someone works with us, we say, okay, how much money are you making right now? 2 million. Okay, how much money do you want to make by the end of the year in 12 months? 4 million. Oh my God, you want to double your business in 12 months? Like, yes, and I'm sure we can do it. We just need, I calculated it. We need these many leads, these many sales, these many projects, etc. And then we put together a plan for them. We execute on the plan. And guess what? In the vast majority of cases, we get them the results that they want. Many times we exceed the results that they want. And we even have video case studies of that. People saying, you know, our goal was to go from 4 million to 6 million, but we're actually going to hit 8 million this year, which is amazing, right? And we couldn't have done it without you. So that's the big problem that we solve within that business. And in your career, you can solve whatever problem you feel is persistent. And within your family, for example, a problem that you feel, that you might feel, is that, you know, ambitious professionals don't spend enough time with their children. And you want to be the opposite of that. You want to spend as much time with your children, you know, as possible, especially after they become conscious and they speak and, you know, they're taking on, you know, values and they're understanding the world, right? And so that's something you want to prove. That's something you want to do. That's a universal problem that you solve, you know, in your personal life. Okay. So now that we've talked about vision, let me talk about something in the book that is very important, which is, why do we set a vision in the first place? We set a vision because it allows the pathway to then become clear. So when I say that, I really mean that if you do not know where you are going, you just have a vague idea of like, hey, I want to, you know, be a millionaire. I want to do this. I want to do that. Okay, any road will take you there. If you want to be a millionaire in marketing, you can do it in PPC, in SEO, in content, in, you know, events, in helping with conversion rate optimization, and so on and so forth. Or you can do all of the above or some of the above, and so on and so forth, right? Any path will take you there. The issue with that is that when you're so dispersed with your energy and your focus, you do not know how to actually get there, because there's so many shiny objects, so many things that you have, that you literally don't know what to choose at the end of the day, and you can feel overwhelmed. However, when you have a very clear vision of exactly what you want in detail, again, explained in the present tense, then your pathway to reaching it becomes so much clearer. Something else I want to mention with regards to the path, something that helps the path becomes clear, is to set expectations that actually are reasonable for where you are. For example, when Aaron gives this very good example. He's a relatively short guy as compared to, you know, people in sports, and he is also already in his 50s. So it's not like he's going to be on the USA Olympic champion team for, you know, NBA, for example, basketball. What that means is that if he sets a vision for himself, you know, that in 3 years he is going to be on the, you know, NBA team, you know, being the best, you know, defensive player or the best offensive player or whatever, that is probably not going to happen. Because even though there is a slight glimmer of chance that you can somehow get there, you need to understand that in that specific example, there are at least 1 million other professionals, basketball professionals that are taller than he is, faster, stronger, more competent, and have more chances, way more chances to get that role, that position within the team than him. So that makes it almost impossible, right? He has a 0.000 something chance. So when your vision is almost impossible, statistically speaking, that doesn't mean you shouldn't have it. That just means that the pathway to it can become very clear, because you can say, if I want to be in that team, I need to see what are the best people doing, and I need to do more than they are because I'm at such a disadvantage. Or I need to do something completely different than what they are doing and then get there. Or you can have a more reasonable approach, a little bit more rational approach, and say, okay, let's say my time to shine in basketball has passed. However, what I can do is I can maybe own a team, or I can manage a team, or I can, sponsor a team, or I can be the person that sells sponsorship, or somehow I can be involved with my favorite team, and I can still be part of the team, always there with the team, shake their hands, see them train, get an amazing front row seat. I can have every single thing I want, just not actually play on the team because I have this other role there, right? So that helps you guide that path. And we can go into a lot of examples, within the book, or with other people that have set visions for themselves that were completely audacious and unrealistic, yet they still attain them. People like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates and so on and so forth, right? There are a lot of people as examples. The only thing you need to know is that those are the very, very small minority of business owners or people in general. The vast majority of people, if they set reasonable goals for themselves, they'll generally be happier. Now, if we look at what is holding people back typically from reaching their goals, in the vast majority of cases, there are mental blockages, mental things that are keeping them in a scarcity mindset instead of an abundance mindset. So something that Aaron asked me to read many years ago, and we recommend you read, is a little book called The Science of Getting Rich. It's very short. I think it's maybe under 100 pages. I can't remember, but it's short. I found it difficult to read because it's a little bit more of an archaic English, but the message does come clear still. And so what we recommend you do is read that book at least once. So this is an action step for you. Read the book at least once, cover to cover, right? That book helps you get rid, or helps you understand how the world works, and helps you get rid of a scarcity mindset and going into abundance. Basically, in an abundance mindset, you believe that you can achieve almost everything you want to do within reason, right? Again, if you're 5 foot tall, you can potentially be a national NBA player, right, in the top team, especially if you're old and you're not athletic. However, it helps you think outside of the box. It helps you think in the sense of abundance. Hey, what do I actually want? I want to be part of the team, not necessarily as an offensive player, but I want to be there with my favorite team. Okay, what's possible? What can I do, right? And then you figure that out for yourself. It helps you figure that out. And so what we suggest is, after you read the book cover to cover, we have a little challenge for you. And I've taken on this challenge, and Aaron has as well. We recommend that you read chapters 4, 7, 11, and 14. These 4 chapters every single day, once a day, for at least 30 consecutive days. This is our challenge to you. Aaron has done this for 90 consecutive days. I only managed to get to 36. He told me do 30. I managed to get 36. I wanted to do 90 just to show him that I can do 90 as well, but I literally just forgot one day to do it. I'm like, oh, I need to start from scratch, because that's one of the rules of the challenge. It's 30 consecutive days, so you don't read it for 15 days and then you stop for 2 days and then you start again at day 16. No, you start again at day 1. So that's the challenge, and that's why it's not so easy, because you need to do 30 consecutive days. However, If you read those consciously, and you understand and you take to heart what those 4 chapters say every single day for at least 30 days, we promise that you will be within an abundance mindset and be almost completely gone with scarcity. And this helps so much to envision the vision that you actually want and to not judge yourself for wanting more or for, you know, desiring more in life and so on and so forth. So have that abundance mindset and read this book so that you can make room for everything that you can be capable of. Moving on from there, we highly recommend that you go down this path of setting a vision for yourself and then outlining the path. Just like we said before with the letters, you're at letter A, your vision is letter Z. Find out all of the milestones that you need to hit in order to reach that vision. Obviously, one of the action steps is to write down the vision itself. And then another action step is to think of, okay, what are all of the things I can think of right now that I can do to get there? What I like to do is I like to plan backwards. So what I ask myself is what needs to be in place for this to be a reality? And I say, okay, we need to have a customer success division, and we need to have a marketing division and a sales division, and we need to have these people there and so on. And then I think of everything I need for that to be a thing, for that to be real. And then I plan backwards of, okay, what's the final thing I'll probably need? This. And before that, what do I need? This. And before that, what do I need? And so on. And I just plan everything out. Okay. So now that you've read the book, The Science of Getting Rich, you have your vision, you have your little path to how to get there. Now we should talk about your mission statement. So the vision statement is a time in the future that you're striving towards. A mission statement is different in the sense that this is just the one sentence guiding North Star of everything you want to do in business. So the mission statement answers 3 questions. Who we are as a team, or who I am if you're writing your personal mission statement. Why do I exist, or why do we exist as a team? And then what do we do as a team? That's it. These 3 things it answers. There are many examples of mission statements in the book and everywhere across the internet. I'm just going to give you one example from our marketing agency. The mission statement is very easy. We connect ambitious companies with their ideal clients in a self-sustaining manner. That's it. That's our mission statement. Notice that every single word within that mission statement is calculated. Okay? We connect ambitious clients or ambitious companies. So we don't work with mediocre companies. We don't work with companies that don't want to grow. We only work with companies that are at, $500,000 and want to be at 2 million, or at 20 million, they want to get to 50 million and so on. These are real stories, by the way, that we've helped people do. We only work with ambitious companies. And we connect those ambitious companies with their ideal clients. So we work on figuring out what those ideal clients look like. We find them in the market, we do the prospecting, and we connect those people with our clients, right? And then the final part is in a self-sustaining manner. That means that if they pay us whatever, $10,000 a month or 120 grand a year, they should make at least $500,000 or $1 million as ROI as a result of our efforts, right? And so it just depends on their profit margin, but they should at least minimum break even on the efforts that we are doing. So we're helping them, we're helping connect ambitious companies with their ideal clients in a self-sustaining manner. That's what we do. That's our mission. And so you can have a mission, and we highly recommend you define a mission for yourself that answers those 3 things. Who we are, why we exist, and what do we do. And within that mission statement has within it the North Star of every single decision you'll ever need to take. Because when you ask yourself, should we do this today for our company? And you can ask, is it aligned with our mission? Yes. Okay. Does it get us closer to our vision? Yes. Okay, then let's do it. Another version is, let's say you have to decide between two things, two people, two clients, two solutions to a challenge. So yes, you have to decide between two things. You ask, which one of these is more aligned with our mission? You say, okay, this one. And which one of these is more aligned with our vision? This one. If they're in conflict, if they're two different, like one helps us get closer to our vision, one helps us stay true to our mission, typically what we recommend is you find the hybrid of the two. You find a way to still stay true to your mission whilst getting close to your vision. And we find, with trial and error, and after 14 years of doing this, we find that every single time we can find a hybrid solution to that challenge, right? Or hybrid decision.